Howdy folks, I'm Southern Wolf of Southern Wolf Studios. Welcome back to Ace Academy. Last time, we got some coffee with Yuna, and then we got drawn by Valerie. Some interesting things going on. I don't know exactly which way I want to go. Now, I'm still leaning to go down Yuna's route, but, things could change, but I really don't want them to. So, let's get back into it. I wake up after the first sound of my alarm clock and hop out of bed. Today is the interview. I get dressed and I practice my speech in my head. Breakfast goes by in a blur as I try to anticipate what questions they'll ask me. Before long, I reach campus. As if in a half daze, I go to class and take a seat by the window.
Good morning, class. I hope you're all prepared for the pop quiz.
Aw, fuck. Pop quiz. Oh, that's a male student that's not voiced. I didn't hear about a pop quiz.
You are absolutely right. That is why, young man, it is called a pop quiz.
Yeah, that is exactly right. The only person that's amused is the professor. He hands one page out to each student, and soon I'm staring at a sheet of questions. I breeze through the quiz. These questions are so easy since they're material I repeated of my studies in CI and Y. I spent some time contemplating the rest of the questions. ... More dots. When my quiz is complete, I hand it in at the front of the class. And the professor is not voiced. I nod and return to my seat. The professor waits for the rest of the class to finish before he begins the lesson.
That is all for today. Have a good afternoon.
As soon as the class is dismissed, I rush out of the building. I'm not sure why I'm in such a hurry. I still have a few hours before I need to meet Yuna. I wonder what I should do to pass the time. You know what? We haven't seen Mayu yet. Let's go talk to Mayu. I go to the library to study. I sit down at a secluded desk between the stacks of books. After a couple minutes, I hear a muffled thumping, as if someone's trying to quiet their jumping. Following the noise to a nearby stack, I see Mayu balancing on her toes trying to reach a book on the top shelf. Her fingers barely graze the ledge of the shelf. She tries to daintily hop, but she fails to reach the book. She sighs and pouts and readies herself to try again. Let's intervene. Stifling a laugh, I walk over and easily pull out the book that she needs. Mayu blinks at me as I hand it to her.
Oh, thank you.
She hugs the book to her chest and stares shyly at the ground. No problem. Seems like you could use some help there. Her cheeks redden as she nods. I take another look at the book she's holding. Hey, isn't that a Piloting 101 textbook?
Yeah.
I thought so. I guess you're working on the assignment now.
Yeah.
She gives me a strange look. I only know it because I have to retake Piloting 101. I'm not stalking you or anything. Wow, okay, when you say it, come on, man, you could just leave that out. You didn't have to say that. Now it's even creepier.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a long pause. Mayu refuses to make eye contact with me, and I'm worried I might have scared her when she suddenly speaks.
Why do you have to take Piloting 101 again?
As soon as the words leave her mouth, her eyes grow wide and her blush deepens. And I just realized that, she's standing on a table.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude.
I can't help but grin at her reaction. Nah, don't worry, it's a normal question. Basically, my credits from CI and Y didn't transfer. Apparently, some of the material is different here for the introductory course. But so far, everything we covered has been the same.
Oh, I see.
That said, since I've taken the class before, if you ever need help, feel free to ask me. She smiles.
That would be great.
Yay, you can come ask Senpai. We stand in silence again. She seems like she wants to ask me something, but is too shy to say it. Alright, we're just gonna offer to help her now. Would you like any help now?
Sure. But only if it's not too much trouble.
Of course not. I always have time for my friends. Her eyes meet mine when I say friends before she quickly looks away again. Another blush stains her cheeks. Despite that, she smiles and nods. We sit down at the desk and together we go over my notes with her. As we settle at the desk, I pull out my tablet and Maya pulls out a spiral notebook. She opens her textbook and flips to the correct page, then opens up her notebook to a fresh page. Her pencil at the ready, she begins reading the text. I watch her curiously as she meticulously writes her notes in fine print. After a couple minutes, she looks up and her eyes meet for a second before she looks away. A blush stains her cheeks. Are you writing your notes? Maya seems to be self-conscious.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm too curious to see the second option here. I gotta see what they think. I gotta see it. I gotta see what they gotta say. I didn't realize anyone still did that. It's kind of an antiquated method. Mayu frowns and fidgets uncomfortably.
I know. It's a little weird.
I wasn't judging you, I was just saying that, you know. Using a tablet is more efficient. You can type a lot faster than you write, especially during lectures when the professor talks kind of fast.
That's true. But I'm more comfortable writing things down. I feel like I understand the material better when I have to pay attention to what I'm noting.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It wasn't a judgment thing. It was just a verbal note of what I observed. Really? She nods. How'd you get into that habit?
I wasn't allowed to have electronics when I was growing up.
What? Okay, that's weird. I can't remember the last time I was without my tablet. How did you survive? Mayu giggles.
Well, it wasn't so bad. I think that's where I got my love of books. I wasn't allowed to play games very often, but Father always encouraged reading. He said he didn't want me to get distracted from my studies, so that's why I wasn't allowed to have a tablet.
That is some old-ass backwards way of thinking. Now, I don't think, 10-year-olds should be having iPhones and shit like that, but at the same time, I don't necessarily agree with that. Sounds like your father takes your education very seriously.
He does. I was in high school when I got my first tablet, but by then I was so used to using a pen and paper that typing out my notes felt unnatural.
That's fair enough. Well, the one upside of writing all the time is that your handwriting is really neat. I wouldn't be able to read my notes if I wrote everything down. Now, I'm that way. I cannot read my fucking notes. If I write down something, it's like, what the fuck does that say? Mayu giggles.
I'm sure that's not true.
I read somewhere once that a person's handwriting can say a lot about them.
Oh, really?
Well, your characters are all very neat and small. Your strokes are lightly rounded and not angular or spiky.
What does that mean?
You're an introvert. It means you tend to be more shy and avoid confrontation. You also have a tendency to be more creative. Mayu seems pleased.
That actually sounds accurate.
The handwriting doesn't lie. Anyway, we should focus on the assignment.
Right.
She turns back to her text and I return to mine. I can see Mayu glancing at me out of the corner of her eye. I look up.
Well, do you think you could explain this passage to me?
I grin. Of course. I continue to help her until her assignment is complete. Yuna's already waiting for me at the library, a tablet with the SBA logo clutched in her hand. Oh, that's even better that we ended up at the library, because it's where we needed to go anyway. Sweet. She smiles at me and breathes a sigh of relief when she sees me.
Oh, good. You're still wearing your uniform. I forgot to tell you yesterday to wear it, and remembered too late to text you.
It's never too late for a text. Oh, I was so preoccupied on what I would say today that I forgot to think about what I'd wear. No worries. I hope my voice sounds more confident than I feel. Yuna noticed the waver in my voice and she places a hand on my shoulder. The heat of her hand soothes my nerves and I relax a little bit.
Okay, well, are you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go. She starts towards the bus stop when I stop her. I can drive us. Her cheeks turn pink, but she grins widely. I'm immediately reminded of how her face lit up the last time she saw my bike.
That would be great.
I lead her towards my bike and we both hop on with ease. All right, yeah, she's used to it now. Great. Once she's settled, we speed off. Yuna directs me where to go and eventually tells me to park in front of an impressive building. It's narrow but shoots straight into the sky, cutting through the clouds. Damn, that must be one tall-ass building. As we walk in, a perky receptionist greets us from behind her desk.
Welcome to Warptech Corporation. How may I help you?
Yuna steps forward.
I'm Yuna Misaki from Ace Academy's SBA. We have an appointment with Mr. Takeda.
The receptionist smiles and gestures to the empty chairs.
Of course. If you'll please take a seat, he'll be with you shortly.
As soon as we take our seats, the receptionist types a rapid sequence into her computer, then drags the documents from her monitor onto her tablet and disappears into a hall in the back. I glance at Yuna. She's meticulously going over her notes. Are you nervous? She thinks for a minute.
Not as much as I thought I'd be. Are you?
Although the first answer is pretty good, but I love the second answer. Nobody can resist these pearly whites. Nah, I got my secret weapon.
What's that?
I flash her a smile. Look at me and she'll be hooked.
We're meeting with a man.
I freeze and I run the scenario in my head. It could still work. Wow, that's rather progressive. Yuna chuckles. The receptionist comes back and gestures for us to follow her. Her ponytail bounces behind her as she walks briskly down the hall and directs us into a spacious office. A portly older man sits behind an old-fashioned mahogany desk. His jowls wiggle as he offers us a seat, which we both take. The walls are painted white, but one wall has a translucent sheen with Yuna's SBA submission packet projected on it. His chair squeaks in protest as he leans forward to greet us.
Miss Misaki, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Thank you for agreeing to meet with us, Mr. Takeda. I'd like to introduce my associate.
I'm Southern Wolf. It's nice to meet you. He nods in acknowledgement while Yuna continues.
He is here to represent his team at Ace Academy.
And you are in need of a sponsor.
Yes, sir. He waves his hand towards the wall and shovels the data on there.
As you can see, Miss Misaki did a detailed job of describing you and your team in your application. But I'd like to hear from you. Tell me about yourself.
I like long walks on the beach. God damn it. Oh, god damn it. How about we start with I've always had an interest in gears. I grew up in the world of gears, and I knew from a very early age that I wanted to be a pilot. While I was a student at CINY, I began a program in piloting and earned top marks in all my classes. I recently transferred and tested into the piloting program at Ace Academy, where I'm pursuing my degree in piloting.
As a transfer student, that's not an easy program to test into.
Ah, great. He's smiling. That's a good sign. He sounds impressed.
Tell me, out of all your other options, why did you choose Warptech Corporation?
Because we didn't have any. You're the best around. It was an easy decision. Warptech's corporation sets the standards for Gears weaponry. I read about your latest announcement of the advancement in particle technology. Same output on beam weaponry while reducing energy core usage by 15%. None of your competitors have made a breakthrough like that yet.
There has also been some controversy over that release.
Oh, did not know that. Some are saying the use of the new technology will affect the longevity of the weapon, but there's no proof of that yet. I prefer to see evidence than believe rumors. He nods.
It's refreshing to see a young person keeping up to date with the latest releases.
Oh shit. I think I detect a hint of approval in his voice.
Okay, and why should Warptech Corporation choose you? In other words, what sets you apart from the competition?
We're a breath of fresh air. As a new team, we aren't so set in our ways that we stifle creativity. We're not afraid to try new strategies. We think that will benefit the team, and we're receptive of feedback. That said, we're also acutely aware of our abilities. We work well together because we are upfront with each other, not only about our strengths, but also about our weaknesses. And we use that knowledge to our advantage. I sneak a peek at Yuna, who looks pleased. Mr. Takeda seems to appreciate my answer as well.
Well, I think I've heard enough for now. Miss Misaki, do you have a copy of your team's qualifier transcripts?
Yes, of course.
She flips on her tablet and flicks a document onto the projected wall. The interview seems to be going well. I glance at Yuna, who smiles encouragingly at me. Mr. Takeda takes a quick glance at the file and then frowns.
Your team is only ranked 21?
Yes, sir. He sighs and turns off the projection.
You seem generally passionate about your team and your studies, and perhaps if the circumstances were different, we would consider your candidacy. Unfortunately, Warptech only accepts teams who are ranked within the top 10 from Ace Academy.
Fuck! As I'm still processing the rejection, Yuna protests on my behalf.
Mr. Takeda, couldn't you make an exception? You said yourself that if rank weren't a factor, his team would be a strong candidate. A representation by you would make a significant difference in their growth and development, and their success reflects positively on you and your company.
I'm sorry, Miss Misaki. I do believe with skills like his, he will find a sponsor. Just not with us.
Won't you even give him a chance?
Miss Misaki, I'm sure you understand the image that we have built and what would happen to that image if we stop recruiting from the top 10. I thank you very much for your interest in us and wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
I believe his endeavors. His voice has a hard edge of finality. He gestures towards the door, then returns his attention to his desk. And whenever he comes back to ask us, we will undeniably reject him. All pretenses dropped, Yuna storms out of the office while I follow calmly behind her. Disappointment makes my feet feel heavy. After we leave the building, Yuna whirls to face me.
What? A hypocrite! How can his company promote taking risks when he won't take any himself?
Whoa, Yuna, calm down.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It's okay. It was a long shot anyway. Even though we didn't get the sponsorship, I still appreciate you helping me out.
Don't give up just yet. I will get you a sponsor.
Yuna, let's be realistic. The teams we need to beat are all in the top 20. What are the chances of us finding a good sponsor who hasn't already scooped up the competing teams?
It's fine. I'll take care of it.
How?
It's my job. Let's just go back to campus. There's work to do.
Alright, I'll take your word for it. Without waiting for me to answer, she hops on the back of my bike. I get on after her and start the engine. Yuna's quiet the entire ride back to campus. When we arrive, she gives me a hurried goodbye and rushes off, leaving me to wonder just what she had planned. Oh, this isn't going to be fun to tell the team. Well, sitting here stewing in my thoughts isn't productive. I have some time before I need to go home. Maybe someone will be free. Let's go talk to Sho, since it's our only option. Let's see if Sho wants to hang out in the arcade or something. I'm sure there'd be more options. Yeah, I'm sure there's some way, like some other path, that there could have been more options there, but we're not down that path. I call and he picks up after a few rings.
What's up?
Ask Show out on a date? What the fuck is with these These second questions are fucking weird. Let's go to the arcade, why not? You busy?
Yep, I'm on a date right now.
Yeah, right. You? On a date? My bad. Enjoy. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. I'll leave you to it.
Wait, Brosif, I was just kidding.
Yeah, I knew he wasn't on a date. Okay.
I'm glad you think I can get a date, though.
I mean, I assume that the people that are in the piloting program are like, kind of like the rock stars of the school. Even if you're not the most popular one, you would still have some sort of interest among the other one, just because, oh, they're a pilot. It doesn't really matter that they're not the top pilot, but they're still a pilot. Sure. This is awkward. No. Anyway, want to meet up at the arcade?
Yeah.
After hanging up, I head out to the arcade. Oh, we got Dance Dance Revolution. As I enter the building, I spot Show, waving at me. As soon as I join him, he leads me deeper into the arcade. Where are we going?
To a game which will showcase our skills.
Uh-oh. But the gear simulators are the other way.
Not those skills.
Show steps in front of a shooting game and pulls a gun out of the holster.
Shall we see who the better marksman is?
Oh yeah. The game has inbuilt sensors that we can duck to the side and take cover, or peek out, and the game will read our movements. It's a team-based game, but it sounds like Show wants to turn it into a competition. You're on. How about we raise the stakes?
I like the sound of that. What were you thinking?
Loser buys the winner lunch for a whole week.
I never took you for a gambling man.
It keeps things spicy. It keeps things interesting.
Alright then, may the best man win.
May the best man win. We throw a couple of tokens into the machine. Once the game loads, we jump straight into the action. Show takes the lead. And leads us straight into an enemy encampment. Oh, great going, Show!
You're falling behind, Brosip. Ah!
A large wave of enemies spawns on Show's side.
Ah crap, I'm pinned! Give me some cover!
It's still a team game. Alright, I'm going in. I take out the shooters, pinning him down.
I knew you'd pull through. Time to finish off this wave.
Yep. We cleared the game, however we weren't fast enough to make the leaderboard. Maybe if we hadn't spent time in the beginning competing, it might have been different.
Not bad.
Yeah. After our shooting match, we head to the gear simulators.
Aw, no way!
There's a long line which snakes around some of the other gaming stations.
Well, I guess I should have expected this.
Why are there so many people?
It's because of the new update to the simulators.
Update?
The arcade has new prototype weapons by Eludian Enterprises installed into the sim.
Huh. I wonder what kind of weapons.
Not sure, but I can't wait to find out.
You're pretty excited about this. He scratches his head and wears a sheepish grin.
Yeah, it's because I really do like gears.
What got you into them in the first place?
Oh.
Show looks like he's struggling to find the words.
Nah, it's stupid.
I'm sure it's not. You can tell me. It's strange to see him look so serious. After a few more seconds of hesitation, Show finally speaks.
I got beat up a lot as a kid.
Now I feel like a jerk. I didn't know. He takes a deep breath.
I was always the one being picked on in class or after school. That's why I hung out alone a lot. Then one year, my mom bought me this sweet gear action figure for my birthday. Man, I loved that thing. It was so awesome.
And someone took it from you or broke it.
But the kids from my class, they pulled it from my hands and laughed as the leader smashed it against the concrete.
Oh, man.
I sat there, my eyes red from crying, and I thought, If only I had a real gear.
Sho, I'm sorry. He doesn't face... God, this got really emotional. This should not be that emotional. He doesn't face me. If I'd known that it was such a sensitive topic, I wouldn't have brought it up.
No, it's good to finally talk about it, you know?
Suddenly his body starts shaking. Are you alright? Look, I didn't mean to bring this up. Wait. Don't tell me.
I can't believe you actually fell
That
for it!
motherfucker! You motherfucker! Fuck you, dude! It's a pretty good one, though. No, you know what? I'm gonna get you back one day. This means war.
It was just a joke, come on.
No. You started it, but I'm going to end it.
Ha! You can try, but everyone knows the showster can outbreak anyone.
So what's the real story? Sho shrugs.
There isn't one. There's just a feeling, you know? Being inside the cockpit, your hands on the control panels, and the only thing you see out of your visuals is down the barrel of your opponent's rifle.
So you mean you like the thrill? Didn't take you for an adrenaline junkie.
That's not exactly it. In a match, everyone is an equal. You could be the son of the president or missing a leg or whatever, and none of that matters. All that matters is if you have what it takes to win.
Well, matches aren't really equal. If you're the son of the president, you could probably have the best equipped gear in the nation, which obviously gives you an advantage over the gear with average equipment.
True, which is why matches held between standard gears are my favorite. Then it really is based on skill alone.
Yeah, but that's not how actual matches are done. Sho's unusually serious and speaks in earnest. Although he's still smiling, it's not his usual goofy grin. He might come off as someone who doesn't take anything seriously, but after what he just shared, I get a feeling that this facade hides a mind that is observant and alert. Interesting.
I don't share that with a lot of people. I don't think they'd understand.
I really don't know what to say. Luckily, Sho's signature grin returns.
Anyway, good talk.
Yeah. That will be 500 credits for the session.
What?
Your next therapy session is scheduled 2 weeks from now.
That's pretty pricey. How come I don't get the friends and family discount?
I just look at Sho, who stares blankly at me. Suddenly his eyes grow wide in understanding.
You mean we aren't friends?
The line dwindles as we've been talking, and before we know it, it's our turn.
Looks like we're next.
We said we'd get him back. Sho and I take our places inside the simulation pods, and we continue to battle each other until Sho has to leave. Aw, we don't get to do a little match? Shit. I'm in a happier mood when I arrive home. Hey guys, I'm home.
You can't just decide that without telling me.
Uncle Kaito's voice stops me. I can see him pacing back and forth in the kitchen.
So cut it short. This is the opening day of my new restaurant. They'll expect me to be there, and they'll expect you there too.
As I get closer to the kitchen, I can hear a woman's voice on the other end of the line.
I really don't care. Part of our arrangement was that we'd consult each other before making a decision, and you didn't. So how you're supposed to be in two places at once really isn't my problem.
A flurry of muffled words on the line has Kaito frowning deeper and deeper.
Don't forget, we are still married. We promised to do whatever it took to make sure nothing interfered with our careers. Well, if you don't show up, then that will certainly interfere with my career.
Oh, this is not good. Married? Is he talking to Aunt Yuki? There's a pause. I think I hear her say, "I'll see what I can do," and then hang up. Uncle Kaito slams the phone onto the table and falls into a chair, holding his head to his hands. Hey, Uncle Kaito. He glances up and gives me a weak smile.
You're back. How was school today?
Good. I sit beside him. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but I heard you talking to Aunt Yuki just now. He looks a little uneasy, but waits for me to finish. What did you mean by still married? Isn't Aunt Yuki just away on business?
Sort of.
Kaito sighs wearily and rubs his temples.
I suppose you're old enough to know the truth. Your aunt and I are separated. We have been for the last 6 months.
The fuck? I mean, it's a sensitive issue for a lot of people. Like, it could be a sensitive issue for a lot of people, but seriously, like, he's in college. Come on, he can handle that kind of thing. Last 6 months. But you aren't divorced? No, there's a difference between being divorced and being separated, you dumb shit.
No.
How come we didn't know? We're your family. Well, because they probably didn't want to tell anybody.
We had to keep it quiet. Divorce is viewed differently here in Japan. It's not as common as in the States, and Yuki and I don't want our personal issues to interfere with our careers.
See, I didn't know about that. I didn't know it was viewed differently. I remember the stories Mom told me about how difficult it was when she and Dad first got married. She couldn't have stayed in Japan even if she wanted to. If you two are just separated, does that mean Aunt Yuki is here in Izakaze?
Yes.
I get it. I know Japan has stricter rules on family and what's proper, so I didn't blame you for keeping a secret from us. Kaito grins in relief.
You don't know how much that means to me, kid.
It's... I don't need to go... I don't feel I need to go into it anymore. I've had my little rant. Are you going to tell Nikki? He thinks before responding.
Yes, I will.
Do you think she'll be angry that you lied? Nikki has always been more sensitive than I. He shrugs.
Maybe. But I think she's mature enough to understand why we did it.
Yeah, I think she would be too. She might be a little upset, but not that much. Yeah, must be exhausting hiding it from everyone.
It has been.
What did Aunt Yuki say when you told her we were living with you?
Well, about that.
You didn't tell her. Great. Kaito trails off and refuses to meet my eyes. She doesn't know that we're here?
No.
Were you planning on telling her?
Of course. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Oh, he doesn't want to do it because then she's going to come over and then they're going to have their fight as we're talking. Great family drama. Fucking hate it. I nod. Uncle Kaito doesn't share anymore, but I can't stop myself from asking. Since we're talking about it now, what exactly happened between you two? He sighs.
Yuki was ready to have kids, and I wasn't. We discussed the possibility of having children when we first got married, and I kept pushing it back. I wanted to focus on my career, and for a while, so did she.
And I don't blame him at all. If that's why she got the divorce is because he didn't want to have kids. No. That's absolutely no reason for a divorce. I do not give a fuck what anybody says. That is not a reason for a divorce whatsoever. Nope.
But you know how women are. At some point, their biological clock starts ticking. She didn't want to wait anymore.
But you still weren't ready.
No. After that huge argument, we started to drive each other crazy. I became acutely aware of all those small things Yuki did that I hated. We fought all the time, and at some point, we agreed that this wasn't working anymore. And that's how it's been for the last 6 months until we can figure out a more permanent solution.
It's kind of funny that even though you weren't ready for kids, you ended up with them anyway. He grins.
You guys don't count. You practically take care of yourselves. I'm just here to provide the roof.
Gee, thanks. Maybe it's a good thing that you didn't have kids. He laughs. So what was the phone call thing about? Kaito turns solemn again.
Part of our agreement for our separation was that we will both do whatever it takes to keep up the pretense of marriage when it involves our careers.
Oh, why not?
She's going on some sort of retreat with her girlfriend. Normally we consult with each other before booking any trips to prevent something like this from happening. But this time she didn't. I really need her there.
Clearly this arrangement... God damn it, the second option is always... God, the second option is so cringy. Nope, I'm not going there. Clearly this arrangement isn't working either. Maybe you guys should just get that divorce. All traces of playfulness are gone from Kaito's face.
Excuse me?
Ooh, I didn't know it was gonna go there with it. Well, living together wasn't working, and being separated doesn't seem to be working for you two either. If she doesn't show up at the grand opening, how would that be any better than getting divorced?
It's not the same. Missing one engagement can easily be excused. There's no turning back from divorce. Neither one of us can afford that.
I shrug. If you say so.
I do.
Uncle Kaito glances at the clock and stands.
I didn't realize how late it's gotten. I have an early start tomorrow.
Don't you always have an early start? You get up before I do.
True, but I have an even earlier start than usual.
Ah, fuck that. Ugh, yeah, exactly. Well, that last little thing didn't go nearly as quite the direction I thought it was going to go. We say goodnight and Kaito heads upstairs. I go to the living room and turn on the TV. After watching the show and the news, I turn in for the night.